We're just talking about concerts coming up this summer, Reg. Last concert you went to?
Last concert I went to, God, it's been a while. Wow, I truly cannot remember the last concert I've been to. It's been that long. Seriously, It's back to my playing days. I know.
That long?
It's been that long. Who is touring this summer? It's time for me to get to a concert. Who are you going to go see this summer?
I don't know if I'm going to. I'm not going to go out of my way. I don't think.
Oh, I do know. Wait, I just did. I have seen someone. Yes, I just remembered. Janet Jackson in Hawaii. Yes, Janet Jackson last year in Hawaii.
Oh, how was that?
JJ, fantastic.
Did you talk to her?
I did not talk to her. It was. I was back to my 1986 UCLA dorm self watching that.
How about the Pleasure Principle video?
Yes, she did. Oh, she put on all the hits. It was great. Yeah. Janet Jackson in Hawaii, too, so that was a plus. In Hawaii, awesome.
But
love you, JJ.
But if you had the... See, that's one of those where even if you had a chance to talk to her, you can't really talk to her as a fanboy with her brother, right? Or would you try to?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Because she deserves... Look, she has a pretty good resume herself, and everyone had a Janet Jackson crush growing up. In my era. She was Beyonce before Beyonce.
Would you rather have dated Janet or met Michael?
You're killing me here, aren't you? You're killing me here, aren't you? JJ, you are fine, but I'm sorry. It's the glove one. It is the glove one.
The best song he ever did was?
I like old school, Shake Your Body Down to the Ground, Can You Feel It? You know, I liked when he was a part of the Jackson 5 with his brothers, but you can never go wrong with Smooth Criminal. That is probably my son's and I song in the car on the way to school, Smooth Criminal. I got him hooked on Michael Jackson. My life is complete as a father.
Can you moonwalk?
I used to be able to. I don't think my legs and my feet work the same anymore, but I thought I did a pretty good moonwalk.
I'm older than you. I can still moonwalk.
Can you?
Yes, of course I can.
Next time I'm in the New York studio, we're having a Michael Jackson day, and we're going to dress up, and we're going to play his best, and we're going to moonwalk. We're going to do it all.
No, I'm not dressing up. I'll just do
Oh, why not? Why not? If we're going to do it, let's do it. I like that. I like the hee-hee.
Yeah, I can get there when I need to. All right, let's talk some basketball. All right,
sure.
If you were Carmelo Anthony, you would do what? You got
where do I sign in? Because he has the right to opt into his, what is it?
28 million.
No one's going to give him $28 million.
No, but he can stay there. But if he wanted to win and take less, now I said the same thing. He's going to take $28 million and play in Oklahoma City, and then after that is when he might opt in to play for somebody.
Houston. That is a perfect system for him. Doesn't have to play any defense, and he could just jack up threes.
Is Houston going to want him a year from now?
Well, that's the big question. That's the big question. Well, certainly, hopefully, his talents won't deteriorate anymore from what we saw in the playoffs. But just to be a spot-up shooter, again, that's the last thing to leave you. That's a perfect system for him.
The Cavs limp in, crawl in, scratch into round two here. It feels like Toronto is the best matchup for them in the second round as opposed to Philadelphia, maybe even Boston for that matter. But why? What do you expect to happen this time around with this the artist formerly known as the Cavs taking on the Raptors?
Well, LeBron James and company and the Cavs, they've had Toronto's number over the last few seasons. So I think psychologically going into this series, that's the edge they have. Personally, I believe Toronto will win the series probably in 6, just for the simple fact I think the Cavs are going to wear down. And and in LeBron. Look how much work he had to do in a 7-game series to get out of the first round. And he was unbelievable yesterday in Game 7. I mean, that's when you talk about your best player setting the tone for a Game 7, that's what you want to see. So he did absolutely everything. He played heavy minutes in round 1. And what Dwayne Casey and the Raptors have going for them is that they played 9 players. They're very deep, and they're rested. And I just think the Cavs are going to wear down. Now, can Kevin Love and Green and George Hill play like they played in Game 7? Perhaps, but we didn't see that in round 1, so why would we see that in round 2? I just think they wear down, and I think Toronto wins in 6.
Do you make anything of this? When you play with a great player, sometimes you watch the great player, and it feels like the Cavs, I don't know if they have a game plan on the offensive end. I really don't. It just feels like they're like, what's LeBron going to do here? And then they sort of adapt to that. Is that what happens?
I think we saw probably a little bit of that in the first few games in that Indiana series. Again, the veterans showed up in Game 7 when they needed them the most. But those guys are going to have to play like that if they want to continue to advance and play the winner of that Boston-Philly matchup. LeBron needs help. LeBron can't be playing 43 to 44 minutes in his 15th season during the playoffs. I mean, you've got to cut his minutes down.
Yeah.
You know, it's the workload is way too much, Daniel. And God bless him that he's able to do that. But when you're going against the number 1 seed in Toronto and a team that plays 9 and 10 players, and they can throw a lot of bodies at him, as sooner or later that tree is going to fall. They're just trying to chop the tree down.
Who do you like emerging from the East?
Philadelphia.
Oh, you're all in.
I'm all in.
Okay.
They got they got the size, they got the passing, they got the shooting. People are not talking about the shooting now with Bellinelli, J.J. Redick, I think Ilyasova. All those guys were fantastic pickups. Veteran leadership off the bench, in the locker room, on the bus, on the plane, and you just got young studs and Embiid and Simmons who are playing probably the best basketball of a lot of players in these playoffs. So I'm all in with Philly. God bless Boston getting there after a tough 7-game series with Milwaukee, but I just think they're going to be overmatched versus Philly.
You think the Greek Freak stays in Milwaukee?
I hope so, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of teams offering him everything. He doesn't seem like a big city guy. And again, I've talked to him on a few occasions, and he seems very reserved, a lot like a Kawhi Leonard. I thought Kawhi Leonard was going to finish his career in San Antonio, but that hasn't seemed to be the case. I don't know if a big city is calling him, but I always tell people the grass is not always greener. You want to go to New York, Chicago, L.A., well, there's a lot of expectations that come with that. You play in Milwaukee, it's a one newspaper town, and you can rule the roost. And the grass is not always greener if you're thinking about that. Yeah, you can probably get paid and do more endorsements and all that, but I mean, if you can make Milwaukee a winner, my goodness, that's pretty special.
James Harden yesterday kind of did whatever James Harden wanted to do. More impressed with what Harden did, or I guess LeBron with the Game 7. But I mean, Harden he makes it look kind of easy. LeBron looks like he's always working, whereas it doesn't seem like Harden's working that hard. Is that fair?
That's very fair. Keyword easy. I mean, that 41 points, 7 for 12 from deep. I mean, it's almost like he was moonwalking and doing that in his sleep. And we saw that in Game 1 in that first round matchup as well. I think that caught Utah off guard. I think they were still in their home run trot after beating OKC. I think we'll probably see a better game on Wednesday from the Jazz. But I don't know if anyone has any answers for the bearded one because he is playing at such a high. That's why it's so difficult. I go back and forth with his MVP because what LeBron did in a Game 7 atmosphere, and how he started that game. What was he, like 8 for 8, 9 for 9, or something like that? It was just ridiculous. So I mean, it's a toss-em. At the end of the day, I do believe Harden will win the MVP because of his body of resume over the last 3 years, runner-up 2 of the last 3 years. But what LeBron has done in his 15 years, simply outstanding.
Had J.J. Redick on last week, and we were talking. He was in my dream. He was helping me with my jump shot because I didn't know anybody else who had a great jump shot. So I had J.J. Redick join me. And so,
ouch.
Yeah,
ouch. Okay.
And I said to Redick, best jump shot in the game, and he didn't even hesitate. You know who he took?
Klay Thompson?
Yeah, he said.
Thompson.
He said there's no wasted movement, no nothing. It's perfect.
Catch, shoot. His elbow is in.
Yeah.
Beautiful release, rotation. Beautiful gooseneck on the follow through. Uses his legs, not a lot, but uses them a little bit. I would concur. I would probably go with Klay as well. In terms of jump shooting, form, follow through, balance. A lot of people forget it. He has great balance as well.
Why didn't we see that in college?
You saw it in glimpses.
Well, I know, but that's just you had to go out of your way to watch Washington State.
Washington, right? I mean, that conference was all about Oregon and UCLA at the time. So.
But you would think that at that size, with that pedigree, that people would have looked at him instead of where he fell to the Golden
Well, they did. He was a lottery pick, so they did see him.
Yeah.
But he played for Washington State.
Who went in front of Paulie? Can you pull up who went in front of Klay Thompson in that draft? Do you remember, Reg?
My thing is, how did he get to Washington State and not to UCLA playing down there in the OC? Like, who's doing the recruiting? Was that Ben Howland at the time?
But
I mean, are you kidding me?
How good was he in high school?
I don't care. He played at, like Mater Dei or one of those big high-profile schools.
What do you have, Paulie?
Hold on. The pedigree. Michael Thompson's son.
I know. I agree. I know. Maybe he should have gone to Minnesota. Didn't his dad go to Minnesota?
I wouldn't go that far, but how did he get out of UCLA or even USC?
All right, Paulie, who went before Klay Thompson?
2011 draft, Kyrie Irving, Derek Williams, Arizona, Enes Kanter, Tristan Thompson, Jonas Valanciunas, Jan Vesely, Bismack Biyombo, Brandon Knight, Kemba Walker, Jimmer Fredette.
Ouch. Let's redraft that. Okay. He would be probably behind Kyrie. Kyrie would still probably be number one. And then you could go with Klay out of that time. He went number what, 8 or 9? 7?
Where did Klay go, Paulie?
11th.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So barely a lottery pick. Would you take Kemba Walker was 9. Hold
on. Did you say Jimmer Fredette went ahead of him?
Yes.
Whoever
one
drafted.
Pick.
Come on, man. I don't care. But to
who? Sacramento, I think, took Jimmer Fredette.
Yeah. Kawhi Leonard went 15. Jimmy Butler went 30.
Yeah, so if I redraft there, is Jimmy Butler better than Klay Thompson?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh. No, because Klay's a pretty good defender as well. That's very difficult. That's a difficult.
But you're on the
clock.
Right you could take Jimmy Butler or Klay Thompson. You got to make a pick.
And I'm Golden State or any team.
Any team.
I would probably go with Jimmy Butler, but Klay fits perfect for that system with Steph, Draymond, and KD. See, I don't know if Golden State has the same success if Jimmy Butler's on that team.
Would you take Kawhi Leonard over those two guys, Klay Thompson and Jimmy Butler?
Well, what Kawhi am I going to get?
You're drafting him.
or the Finals MVP. I mean, what Kawhi am I going to get, man?
I'm just saying, if we redrafted, is what we said. So is Kyrie going 1? If we redraft, I got Kawhi.
Kyrie will always be 1.
Okay.
Out of that, Kyrie is always 1.
And then Kawhi?
Yeah, I'm going Kyrie, Jimmy Butler.
Wow.
Klay.
Wow.
Kawhi.
Whoa.
Just for the simple fact, I need to know where Kawhi's head is.
And then Jimmer Fredette goes after that.
And then Jimmer would be, and then Bismack Biyombo would be probably 6.
No, Tristan Thompson.
Hey, Hey, Tristan Thompson played huge.
Oh,
in
Reg,
Game 7.
stop. He's a max guy, and they got this contract for him, and then he hadn't done anything. So we're supposed to be surprised.
Did he play well did he play well
He's
in Game 7?
He's supposed to play well.
Okay.
All right.
He played well. But he played well in Game 7.
All right. Where the hell's he been? Maternity leave?
I can tell you where he's been.
in the club. Into club, I think.
Yeah, I'm not even going. Hey, all you Cardettes, that was Dan Patrick. That's not Reginald Wayne Miller. Don't be adding me on Twitter.
No,
that's Dan Patrick that said that.
Chloe knows I've got her back. I love Chloe. All right, have fun in Houston there, Reg.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Great
Love
to
you,
talk to you,
Theodore.
That's Reggie Aloysius Miller Jr. III.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.